Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Friday. This is Devils After Dark. I'm your host, Sam Wu, going solo tonight because this is going to be a long list of complaining about your New Jersey Devils, as Devils After Dark is now going to be Complaint Central. This is the Damn It Devils recap. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are listening or watching this podcast right now, you are a true New Jersey Devils fan because you made it through that 8-4 debacle of a game in Winnipeg against the Winnipeg Jets. The New Jersey Devils, the team of the future. We talked about the New Jersey Devils and how great it will be. And now I feel like I've been bamboozled again. The Devils are in the midst of spiraling out of control their season as they're losing royally, solidly, and they're getting nothing in the standings. Unbelievable. And when they took a 4-3 lead tonight, did you actually think that they would actually win? And let's go through the Damn It Devils recap. You're going to have to be my crutch. The fans that are watching right now, you're going to have to be my crutch tonight because this is not easy going solo when there are so many things to talk about. What went wrong in tonight's game? Going through the box score. Well, first period, it's the Winnipeg Jets. And the Devils didn't show up. So I'm not going to even say that versus the New Jersey. They just didn't show up. Mark Scheifele got things going in the first period. Third goal of the year. 152 into the first period. Like a broken record, Devils didn't show up. Yeah. And then Eller scored his 7th goal of the season of the Winnipeg Jets. About literally 2 minutes after the first goal, Scheifele's goal, it's now 2-0 Jets. Oh. And they just looked so bad and disinterested, the New Jersey Devils. They didn't even look interested. They didn't even belong on the ice. It's 3-0 Winnipeg. Only 7 minutes and 39 seconds into the game, the Winnipeg Jets have a 3-0 lead over your New Jersey Devils. You know, I found that brown paper bag that I used to wear on this podcast. Well, I may have to bring that back and the Mickey Mouse head because this ain't good. Ain't good. But to the Devils' credit, about a minute and a half later, Damon Severson scores his 2nd goal of the season, assisted by Tomas Tatar. He's heating up. And Ty Smith, 3-1 Winnipeg. Power play goal. Sweet pass through the middle. Power play goal. Damon Severson pinching down into the no-fun zone and having a little fun. But still, the Devils are down 3-1. Jack Hughes gets on the score sheet with his 3rd goal of the season. towards the end of the first period with the wrist shot. 1936 into the first period. Cuts the Jets lead 3-2. Devils down 3-2 going into the second period. And 37 seconds in the second period, Nico Hischier, the captain, scores, ties it up 3-3. Jesper Bratt with the assist. And you're just thinking, OMG, did that just happen? The Devils finally showed up. And then Ryan Graves with a go-ahead goal, well, for the Devils to take the lead. Third goal of the season, Kokkonen and Boquist with the assists. And that's all under 2 minutes to start the second period. Devils up 4-3. And you're thinking, the Devils are back. They figured it out. Now they're starting to skate. Jonathan Bernier has got a little step in his skate. But that will be short-lived as the Winnipeg Jets scored 5 unanswered goals. Tied it up, took the lead, and ended the second period with a Mark Scheifele goal, second of the game, to take a 6-4 lead. Mere seconds left in the period. And a power play goal, technically. And then the third period, Scheifele again with the hat trick. Lowry make it 8-4 Winnipeg. As the Devils get beaten by the Winnipeg Jets in Winnipeg. And the losing streak continues. The losing streak continues, folks. As I'm seeing the comments on YouTube Live. I'm seeing the comments on Facebook Live. But we got to get through this, damn it, Devils recap, because some of this doesn't look good. Giving up 40 shots on goal, the Devils did. Face-off percentage wins. Winnipeg, 62.7% to the Devils' pathetic 37.3%. Devils power play, 1 for 2. But the Winnipeg Jets, 1 for 4. But the penalty kill did play a lot better this game. They got out hit. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And what about Dougie Hamilton taking a slashing penalty? I know he got hit from behind. But when you're down, you got to be disciplined and not cause another penalty. You got to go to the bench. But that was a dangerous play. And I'm surprised that the refs didn't call anything. But, of course, Dougie Hamilton had to slash the other guy. Forgot who it was. And also, Ken Danico on the call, one of the goals. I think he blamed Siegenthaler where it went off of, but I think we have another puckhead incident. I looked on the replay, and I think maybe Dano may be covering for Severson because that can't be the second night in a row of puckhead where the puck rolls off of his helmet into the net of the New Jersey Devils. But hey, I'll give him a pass. He did score a power play goal today to get things going. But boy, the Devils looked pretty bad. It was rough. Bassett guy in the YouTube Live says, so rough. Our passing is atrocious. Yeah, the outlet passing. I mean, it's getting lazy. It's lazy passing. It's not looking at the player you're passing to. It's getting too fancy when this team isn't that fancy. Christopher writes, Hi, Sam. Really disappointing season seems to be slipping away, sadly, yet again. I'll tell you, there are ways to analyze this. I was reading comments and posts on various websites from fans, and I can't believe people are putting out stats. Well, Josh Hughes, all these analytics. And again, I like some analytics, but it's like, oh my goodness. It's like, I don't want to read your term paper of a comment or term paper of a blog. The bottom line is they suck and they're not doing their jobs, and some of the fundamentals are starting to unravel again. They have glimpses where their fundamentals are good, but I'll tell you what, it just looks bad. And at some point, who's going to get fired? That's what I want to know. Who's going to get fired? Who is responsible for this? You can't just point at one person, but I'll tell you what, they are building a culture of winning down in Utica. But it's not translating into winning up at the NHL level for the New Jersey Devils. And you got to think that the coaching staff are starting to feel the seat get a little bit hot right now. And for good reason. They would understand that, hey, accountability. But right now, after all these hard practices, they're saying the right things in the media. That's all nice and dandy. But when you lose 8-4 in that fashion after coming back down 3-0, I mean, it was already forgivable. All right, you're down 3-0. Now you got a 4-3 lead, but 5 unanswered goals. The defense has a lot of holes. They are getting beaten to the puck. That should not happen. That should not happen. And at some point, Tom Fitzgerald will need to make a move. Or will he stand pat like his predecessor? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. I'm going to go to the Facebook Live. But yeah, I mean, it's just the same comments. Ryan Huttner, get Deneen here now. You know what? A couple weeks ago, I would have said that would be a knee-jerk reaction, but you know what? That's starting to sound pretty good right now. You know what? Lindy Ruff is a heck of a coach, but I don't know if he would be the right coach for the New Jersey Devils at this point. I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts. Because it seems like it's a pattern that's happening over and over again throughout the seasons. You start off the season, okay, you're on the brink. And I'll tell you when this thing really started to fall apart. And I knew it. There's no scientific data here. It has nothing to do with hockey. But ever since they came out with those third jerseys, it's been downhill with this team since. No correlation what's going on the ice. But honestly, like ever since then, it's just like a lack of focus, a lot of hoopla, a lot of marketing. The Devils didn't show up on Black Friday down in Nashville, but they redeemed themselves by beating the slumping Philadelphia Flyers. And you thought, okay, they're back on the wagon. They're back on track. But my goodness, losing the Sharks 5-2, losing to the Wild 5-2, losing to the Winnipeg Jets 8-4. The excuse may be, some fans may say, well, it's the second half of the back-to-back, and they had the 4-3 lead there, but they gave it up because maybe they were just a tad bit tired. Good teams find a way to win despite the challenges in front of them. And the Devils play a lot better. I mean, there were some glimpses of brilliance in this game, but they play a lot better when they quickly get that puck on net. They don't telegraph it. And it's amazing how those bouncers are just finding its way through to the goaltender, and there are juicy rebounds to be had. It's just a matter of getting in front, getting to that puck, and putting it in the net. This team has the ability and the talent to get the job done. But the problem here is they just look disorganized. They look disheveled. They look disinterested in the first period. The last 3 games, the first period, they just looked like they didn't want to be there. And I don't know what the real answer is. Donnell Weaver writes, Devils lose to a Jets team that also has been struggling as well, and you give up 8 goals to them. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. And at times, they just look like they just get beaten chasing after the puck. I mean, the Winnipeg Jets they played bigger. They obviously were stronger, and they were just beating the faster to the puck than the Devils. And Ryan Hunter says, why is nobody in front of the net in the offensive zone 9% of the time? You know why? It's because they're not going for the jugular. We talked about the no fun zone and the defensive zone. They're not even entering the fun zone. And when they do score. I mean, Severson got the scoring going on the power play on that first goal. And it's just, you know what? It's really pathetic. And honestly, at some point, as a fan, and don't take it personally, I want somebody fired. I want some changes. This can't go on forever. You can't pitch the fans about the process, the rebuild from scratch. The pipeline is filled. You have the resources. You have Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes, 2 long-term deals. You've done everything right except for winning. You're not winning right now, and we've seen this story over and over and over again. Am I a Homer fan that's just overreacting right now? Just a little. I'll admit that, just a little. But when the pattern is a pattern that has pretty much has gone since this ownership group took over the team, when is that pattern going to be broken? Is this team fool's gold again? Have we overvaluated this team? Is this team not that good? I think the team is very good. I think the individual players are very talented. But I just don't think they're playing like a team right now. And that is a problem. Little Fireboy 87 on the YouTube Live. Winnipeg's transition through the neutral zone was extremely quick tonight. Got past us so many times. Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, the Devils' defense was like Swiss cheese. There were so many holes in it. It's like, can you get a body out there to at least plug it up? You've got all these big defensemen, but somehow they're just getting right through them, and that's not good. Ramona Rice, me too, Sam. Fire them all. Oh, yeah. You know what? I'll tell you what. Forget about this third jersey on Wednesday. Let's focus on winning before we put on that third jersey. I mean, Barry Friedson writes, I watched the Rangers tonight as well. Whole other level. Every pass is tape to tape. How many passes that were sharp? Yeah, I watched the Rangers game the other day as well. My goodness, even on their bad ice, they're able to go tape to tape. And they were able to make those difficult passes. And they were able to get the puck on net without hesitation. And how many times are the Devils hitting the post? Okay, some of them, it's just bad luck. But it seems like it's happening all the time. Seems like it just happens every game. And I feel like I'm going to be saying the same thing after the Devils take on Ottawa on Monday for the makeup game. And now they're losing points in the standings. The only thing that I can think of positive is, well, at least you're not losing to teams in your division. But if you don't get this thing straightened out, you're not going anywhere. And come next NHL entry draft for the lottery, I better not hear Tom Fitzgerald at the podium. Like to thank Montreal for their hospitality as we owned the first overall pick again because we stunk. I like to see some winning. I like to see some wholesale improvement. I'm not so sure if Lindy Ruff has any more tricks up his sleeve to get this team going. And that's something Tom Fitzgerald's going to have to evaluate and figure out. Figure out what's going on. Figure out how the New Jersey Devils could improve. Because they're slumping. But you know what? There could be somebody lurking for someone's job. Oh, yeah.
La la la, Luke, Luke, I am your father. Lola, Lola, Lola.
Luke Hughes. I mean, I'm waiting for the more to come out of the pipeline, but at the same time, who's going to be coaching these New Jersey Devils? We need to have a mindset of winning in the locker room. How are the New Jersey Devils going to snap out? Jesper Bratt, you want to take more of a leadership role? It's time to step up. Nico Hischier, you're wearing the C on your jersey. You better step up. Take the lead on this. Jack Hughes, you signed that big fat contract. It's time for you to start scoring some more goals. Bassett Guy writes, we can't afford another first-round pick that we need to wait a couple of years for them to be good. We keep putting off the rebuild. We may miss some of these players' windows. Well, yeah, and also my clock is ticking as well. I mean, honestly, it's like we've been pitched about this rebuild for nearly, 8 years. And it just seems like there is no attention to detail right now. The goaltending was terrible. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Mackenzie Blackwood, I thought, played decently in net. But, he didn't have a defense in front of him. But, I mean, Jonathan Bernier, they gave you a 4-3 lead. They gave you a 4-3 lead. But a couple of those goals is like, you got to be kidding me. You got to save that. I know there are tricky bounces. I know that, sometimes it doesn't go your way, but the team needs a win now. Bassett Guy writes, Rangers turned around their rebuild around in 3 years? Yeah, I know. But who knows? I mean, the talent is there. The talent is there. It's just a matter of getting back to fundamentals and start playing devil's hockey and stop relying on individual skills to get the job done. Some of these players are very well coached and well conditioned, like Jack Hughes, like Nico Hischier. But right now, they don't have an identity other than they just keep on losing. They are a mediocre team at best at this point. And let's not sugarcoat it. Yes, their pipeline looks great. But at some point, it all comes down to wins and losses. Love the comments. Facebook Live. But seriously, if this continues for another 2 weeks, I want somebody fired. I'm sorry. It's time to move on. But that's me, the Homer fan, talking. You like to see results. And it's been a while since the Devils have been relevant in the playoffs. 2012 was the last great gasp of that Marty Brodeur dynasty. Since then, it was nice. Taylor Hall, his Hart Trophy season. But you got to tell you, we got to be realistic here. This team is not that good as we thought. But it doesn't mean that they can't turn it around. But they really need to get back to basics on a lot of areas. And they better make these corrections in a hurry because their schedule is going to get more brutal. Bassett Guy says, with our upcoming schedule, I'm worried with the Devils win versus Ottawa and Philly and by the staff another month as we go on another skid afterwards. Lindy, they competed hard. Well, they need to do more than that, Lindy. And these New Jersey Devils, they'll be back on Monday. But right now, it's spiraling out of control. How do you stop the bleeding in order to save your chances, the New Jersey Devils' chances of getting into the playoffs? That's remained to be seen. Want to thank all those that showed up tonight for Devils After Dark. No weekend of games. I guess we can't lose. Devils will be back for the makeup game at Prudential Center against Ottawa. I'll be at Taj Lounge 973, 6 p.m. Eastern. Vinny Parisi and I will do Game Day Live. And Scotty and I will do Devils After Dark as well. A lot of games next week. But I hope you keep it here, the Let's Go Devils podcast, as we are the premier destination of Devils hockey. Devils hockey talk. Also, one of the most commented Devils podcasts in the history of New Jersey Devils podcasts. Seeing a link here. This is a change.org. Stop the Devils from wearing a hideous new third jersey. 196 have signed it. Yeah. Something needs to be done, folks. Something needs to be done. I think it's more than personnel. I think we have to revisit. Tom Fitzgerald's going to have to look and revisit what's the vision here. How are we going to fulfill that vision of this exciting new brand of New Jersey Devils hockey? We'll be here to cover it. I want to thank all those that have been commenting, watching, viewing, dropping this podcast at midnight. I want to thank all those that have stuck by the team, stuck by the podcast. And we'll live another day. Well, thank you all. I'll see you later. This is Devils After Dark. Till next time, let's go Devils.